all of the angels that Sheena personally works with all the time here, and Sheena she is the most angel using person that I know. She always remembers to include them. She's helping me remember to do that. So, and it's good to see you.
Hello, darling. It's lovely to see everybody, and hello from Australia. Yes, as Sheila was saying, I'm sharing with everybody the Council of Seven, who I've always worked with in all the Atlantises. There's different councils, but this particular Council of Seven are the seven that are assigned and were created to be part of this planet and this dimension, and they are what we would regard as the supreme representation of what you conceive as God on this planet. And they are the gatekeepers that are in charge of what you might understand as the chakra system or the centers of consciousness. So there's many, many archangels, more than you could possibly imagine. And they do many, many different things, but I always work with the Council of Seven. And so this is who we're sharing this knowledge with you. And today we're going to talk about Archangel Chamuel. Now, it doesn't matter how you spell it, it's the essence. Also, in regard to angels, the word angel for me means messenger. They are higher consciousness, and they help facilitate, and they are the administrators so that we can have these physical embodiments and these experiences in these different dimensions. And of course, I call this planet and this plane boot camp Earth. And we're on boot camp. We're learning how to be human. That in itself is a mastery. So these divine beings have got nothing to do, from my concepts, they've got nothing to do with religion, even though they're mentioned throughout different various religious beliefs and structures. They are here for everybody, and they're part of this dimension. They always have been, they always will be. Each archangel themselves has different aspects. And just like you have different aspects, and you as a spiritual being can have a highest self or a higher self, and you've been incarnated and you have different planes and you have different soul layers, archangels can also do the same thing. You can have your earthly archangels, like for instance Archangel Michael is also being ordained as a saint in this dimension. So there's the aspect of him that is Saint Michael, and then there's Archangel Michael. But you also have a galactic Michael, you have a cosmic Michael, you have a universal Michael. So Archangel Michael just doesn't exist here in the earth. These beings exist in other dimensions, right to the ethereal realms, right to the point of creation. And it just depends which aspect you connect in on. There's no right or wrong. But the Council of Seven, and I call them the Seven Swords of Virtue, that's just a bit of poetic license, by the way. They have always held the 7 healing rays for mankind. And depending on your spiritual template, due to the nature of what type of being you are and where you've travelled, where your consciousness has travelled, they do facilitate energy for us to have these experiences and to evolve and to heal with. So Archangel Chamuel, for this purpose, is in charge of the solar plexus gateway of consciousness, or is the gatekeeper of that. And that is to do with discernment. And that, for this planet, and for the majority of people, and it's not a hard and fast rule because everybody is quite unique, that for this purpose is on the yellow ray. And the Archangel Chamuel, his name or she, however they present themselves to you, is what you need. It's about you. This energy is he who sees God. So this journey, as we embody as divine, spiritual, eternal spiritual beings, as we embody, is about learning about your own essence, about your own true divinity, the love and light that you are. So we call the lessons the way, and it's the way of the heart, bringing everything through the heart, seeing through the heart, speaking through the heart, knowing through the heart, feeling through the heart, and discerning through the heart. So bringing your judgments through the heart. So he who sees God, so if you see everything in a divine way, you're able to then make discernment. Now, a lot of people on their spiritual journey have a concept where they don't wish to judge, which is absolutely correct, and each person has to do it the way that feels right for them. There's no right or wrong in that. It's how you conceive it to be, because with where you're at. We do have the right to discern a situation. Now, judgment energy, and Archangel Camuel did teach me this, is created with a degree of malice with which you think, feel, or do something. So you are within your divine right to make a discernment about a situation or a person and discern whether they're meant to be in your life, meant to share your journey, and whether it's in your best interest. It doesn't mean that you're judging them.
I feel I'm very strong. Sometimes you just need particular angels around.
You do. And Archangel Camuel also, as I said, for the purposes of this conversation and these videos that we're making, each archangel can vibrate the entire spectrum, and they can come to you on whatever color ray is required. But the discernment ray is yellow, or the intuition ray is a yellow ray. It's to do with your solar plexus. In most cases, depending on your nature of your spirit and the nature of your template or your chakra system. And these chakras evolve and grow as you evolve and grow. So in some cases, depending on where your spirit has travelled from, you might be a galactic star being come to this dimension, and you may have a slightly different template. But while you're in the Earth's vibration, these beautiful archangels will facilitate an environment, an energetic environment for you to exist in. Because colour itself is a consciousness, if that makes sense, yeah? Mm-hmm. So as a healer and as a teacher, when I share with other teachers how to set up a spiritual platform to work with multidimensional healing with the legions of light and the angelic realm, we always use the Council of Seven. So all the chakra centers, all the bases are covered. We don't just use one, we use the seven for this dimension. So Archangel Camuel also works with what we call, and this might be something that people need to know, it's called the Divine Lords of Grace and Justice. Now, if you have a situation where you, in this dimension, you have to go to court and you have to settle a legal situation, before you go to court, you can call on the Divine Lords of Grace and Justice and ask them to oversee your situation. And Archangel Camuel will also help you make clear discernment in regards to that. Mm-hmm. And these beings, it then gives them permission to step in and spiritually be in the background and act on your behalf. And one of the good things to do is to ask for the most benevolent outcome for all in regard to the situation. Some of the court situations are karmic debts. Some are just the nature of this dimension, right? Because we do have the balance here, and that is usually so that you can grow and evolve as a being in the light. Some of them are lessons that you've asked for. But when you are in this dimension as a physical being, you do have to live by the laws of mankind, and these are mankind's laws that are set up. But there's also a spiritual aspect to them as well. So you can call on that. Yes. And if you're dealing with physical illness, stomach problems, in the liver, in the gallbladder, in your nervous system, in the pancreas, these are all connected to the solar plexus. Now, the solar plexus chakra and the sacral chakra and the base chakra, these gateways are in our lower emotional body. They're very human chakra centers.
Right.
That's where our humanity gets to do their boot camp birth. The heart, the throat, the brow, the crown. These are sort of higher vibrational chakras which allow us to step into this dimension through love. And these beings, of course, are extraordinary to work on. So you can call Archangel Chamuel when you've got a situation where you're trying to make a discernment and you need to understand. You can ask for that guidance and they will come and sit with you and speak with you. Usually for people who perhaps don't have those blessings where they can hear, see or feel the angels, they have another blessing where they just know, or there's some that smell. That's called clairocular. With Archangel Chamuel, the lessons that you learn with this archangel are intuition.
Follow your gut.
Gut instinct. Now, if you're actually suffering internal problems with those organs that I spoke about, it could be because your own judgment on yourself is too harsh. Your judgment on others is too harsh, and you need to perhaps heal that and clear that and ask the higher masters and Archangel Chamuel to actually show you what it really is about. Many of us have our own perception bubble. We're in our own bubble and we can only see our own point of view. This is okay as well. Usually healers have the ability to see the bigger picture. But most people, when you're doing this journey, you feel very centered in yourself. I asked this question once and I was quite fascinated by it, and I observed everybody and I found that most people couldn't see other people's points of view. They could only see their own. And I said to Sananda and the masters, and I said, well, why is that? And they said, well, it's about them. I went, oh, of course, it made sense. When you're incarnated and you're in your physical being, it is all about you. And it is all about each person. And so that's why they can only see their point of view. It's a little bit like, you know, when the horses have to run a horse race and they have to put blinkers on the horses so the horses won't see what the other horses are doing because they only need to see their own path. And so the angels explained to me some people don't have the ability to see another person's point of view. They can only see their own perception. That's okay as well because that's how they're doing their journey according to what they know. But if you would like to perhaps expand your view and take those personal blinkers off and go, hang on a minute, it isn't all about me. I have brothers and sisters, and maybe you could show me their point of view. And that might help you, give you a greater understanding of what's actually taking place. And it helps you go, oh, I didn't know that's how that person felt. Or I didn't know that what I was doing or saying was affecting that person that way because I didn't mean it that way. And when you have an authentic conversation with somebody that you might be having an issue with, and you sit down and you say to them, listen, I really need to have a chat with you about something. And it's not about you, it's about me and how this has affected me and how I see it. And I do apologise if I've been giving you or putting something across to you and I don't mean it that way, but can we have a talk about it? And you know how you've got girlfriends that are really great girlfriends and you can just be yourself with them and go, look, this is how I'm feeling. I'm really in my head. I'm so sorry if I'm being such a horrible girlfriend at the moment, or bitch, but I'm really going through something and I really need to sort my stuff out. You know, when you sit and you have those authentic conversations and you express your fears and how you're feeling, and they can turn around and go, well, geez, that's not how I meant it. This is where I was coming from. And you can have a chat, you can have a cup of tea, a couple of Tim Tams. Tim Tams are fabulous. Chocolate is good because it takes you to that place where you feel the endorphins like you're in love. But when you have a really good conversation and you can call in Archangel Camuel to have that conversation and bring in that beautiful yellow energy. You could even wear yellow, take your girlfriend a bunch of yellow daisies, or just be not scared to go, gee, this is how I was seeing the situation. Is that how it is? You'll find that miracles can happen. And you can open up and you can go, oh my goodness, I didn't know that that's how you felt or that that's what you were thinking. I remember when I was very young, I had to have a very serious conversation with my father. And I was 33 at the time. And I had to sit down and tell him that I was holding an energy inside of me that had upset me for a long time. And I was very angry at him. We always angry at our parents usually. And I said to him, Dad, I said, when I was younger, I was given a scholarship to become an architect. And I love architecture and designing. And I had a choice to be an archaeologist or an architect. And of course, in those days, for a female archaeologist, it just wasn't heard of. And even for a female architect, it was very hard. And they did not allow me the scholarship because I would have had to go to TAFE at night. I would have had to go to night school. And my father and mother's opinion was that because I was a girl and I would have to travel on the train at night, and my father worked in the evenings and he would not be there to pick me up from the train station, to protect me, they didn't want me going out and studying. And my father's opinion and his words that rang in my ear were also, when they'd made the decision and they sat me down to tell me I couldn't do it, was, you are also a girl, you will grow up and get married and you don't need to work. Oh, don't you love your parents? Because that was their era. Right. And so when I finally caught up with my dad at age 33, I hadn't seen him for a while, I sat down and said, now listen here, I need to tell you something. I said, that made me very angry. I said, I'm 33. I said, and I'm still working. I said, I know you were trying to protect me at the time, but you broke my heart. I wanted to do this so badly. I said, but I have to tell you about it. And he said, oh my God, sweetie. He said, I didn't know. He said, I was doing what I thought was the right thing as a father. I said, it was your attitude towards women that I would be getting married and I wouldn't have to work. My husband would work and support me. I said, listen, Dad, I'm still working and I'll probably be working the rest of my life. I said, but I had to share it with you. I had to tell you about it. And I said, I have to forgive you for it. And he said, oh, sweetie, he said, I'm so sorry. And he had a second daughter through another marriage and she was much younger. And I said, please do not have this old-fashioned attitude with your second daughter. I said, respect that if she needs to study, let her study something. She may need to continue working. And he stopped and he thought about it and he went, oh, yeah, I've got the same attitudes towards her as well, that she'll grow up, get married, have a husband and won't need to work. And I said, no, Dad, times have changed. I said, and you know, when I had the opportunity to have that conversation with him, I'd really released an energy that I'd held as a tight ball in my intuition, in my guts for a long time. And it was just so wonderful to have that conversation with my dad and have the guidance and know that I really need to talk. I need to come from my heart and have that conversation. When I'm doing healing work and I get people with stomach problems, usually it's a judgment energy that they hold within themselves. Now, whether or not it's a judgment on themselves, they're too harsh, or whether they're judging someone else. Work with the energy of it. Ask the angels or ask Archangel Camuel to show you what it is and how to deal with this, how to clear this? What's the lesson? What are you here to learn about? And follow your intuition. In many cases, we have very clear intuition, we don't follow it, and then we make up a story about it, right, thinking that we were imagining it, when in actual fact it's very, very real. And when you don't follow your intuition, it sort of can distort things. So sit with it and go, what's my intuition telling me? My intuition is telling me no. My head's telling me yes. Then go into your heart and go, what's my heart telling me? My heart's telling me no as well. So you might meet someone and the energy between you is amazing and you might have this wonderful vibe. And it's such a strong vibe that it might make you want to run off and have an affair with somebody. Your head can be your greatest enemy. The energy that you're feeling between each other can be because you are recognizing an old soul partner from another life. Your discernment should be, oh my God, you're an old soul friend. Wow, this energy is amazing. It's reminding us of the time we were together. It doesn't mean run off and leave your husband.
Right.
It can mean you're recognizing and you're going into the emotional memories. So if you are to discern this and go, what is this? Because many people miss, and then they run off, they leave their husbands, they have an amazing, hot love and great affair with that person, and then that all collapses because you don't actually have another contract with them. You're not meant to be with them. You're just recognizing it. But if you sit with it and discern it and go, oh my God, that's amazing. How wonderful to see you again. We were partners in the last life and I can feel that. I have another partner this life and I'm very happy in my marriage. And it's really interesting to use your intuition and your discernment. And if you can't discern, don't hesitate to ask these beautiful beings to teach you or help you remember how to discern. They're here to help. There's no harm in asking for help, and that's how it should be. Don't hesitate.
The biggest part of that is learning to trust yourself, trust the voice, trust the intuition. I mean, and like you said, I know in the 7 years that I've been on Facebook, I am meeting people over and over and over and over and over again that we've had past lives together. And I know that in the beginning, when I first started meeting these people, I thought it was such a miracle that we were supposed to do something about it. And like you just said, you might have to go through a couple of those before you realize it's just a reunion.
It is. I remember I had a gorgeous client. She was doing her own head-in. She'd met a gorgeous woman, and I actually interviewed all of them. She was all in front of me with her husband and her friend and her girlfriend. And they were like twins, and they couldn't be without each other, and they didn't know what to do because the love was so strong between them. And I had to sit them down, and I had to say, now listen, you're not gay. It's not your time to be gay. You're not having that experience. You've met a soul sister. And I've had to say to the husband, you're not leaving your husband, but your husband has to get used to the fact that you and your soul sister are going to be together for the rest of your life. You're going to speak to each other every day. And he has to understand your relationship. They couldn't get through a day without connecting. The bond was so strong. And I said to her, the second one, I said, and you're not leaving your husband either, but your two husbands have to adjust to the fact that you are so connected and you're going to have this wonderful friendship for the rest of your life. Now, get home, get on with it, and get on with your life and stop trying to do your own head-in, because they wanted to be together so much. They were doing their own head-in. They were ready to leave their husbands. They couldn't understand this connection. Once you sat and explained it to them, they went, oh, my God, that makes sense. I said, now, can you handle that? Can you handle a life like that where you'll be able to talk to each other every day? You get to catch up with each other on weekends, have barbecues, be the best of friends, stay in your marriages. Husbands, can you handle the fact that these two women are always going to be with each other? And they all went, yeah, we can do that. And then you could feel this tension lift off them, and they felt good about it. But they were all doing their own heads in. They just couldn't understand it. And it was lovely to be able to sit them down and explain what the bond was and why they were so connected, and what their journey was this life. And in it, they had clarity on it. They were able to really embrace it and enjoy it. My ex-brother-in-law, he's crossed over now, but he and I had shared a life many years ago in Greece, and when we would get together, even my sister-in-law would say, "You two are like an old married couple." And I said, "Yeah, it feels like that, doesn't it?" And we would sit and we could have a conversation. And when you'd look at us, you'd think we were a couple, but we weren't. We were just really good friends, but we could tap into that ancient energy of when we knew each other lifetimes ago. It is a very powerful pull when you meet a soul traveller, a fellow soul kin, a soul traveller, some member of your soul family. It's extraordinary, but at the same time, once you discern and recognise what it is, like you said, Sheila, you're meeting so many wonderful people on the internet that you've had past lives with. It's so great to go, "Oh my God, I know you. Yes, we were in Greece together. How cool was that? What are you doing this life? What do you do? I'm doing this life." Yeah, embrace it in a positive way. Our humanity, because we think in romantic concepts, instantly thinks that we have to have a romantic connection. That's because we're tapping into what we call the past life emotional energetic memory. In some cases, it does go to that level, and it's wonderful and it's meant to be. But in many cases, it is, like you said, a reunion. I know you and I have known each other for eons, and when I sit with you, it's just like, "Oh, I'm home. Oh, there's my sister." And even our friends that watch our videos go, "You two are just having so much fun." They can feel the connection. I feel it. I know it. I saw you and went, "Oh God, I know you," and you felt the same way. Yeah, it's lovely.
And started comparing notes and comparing feelings and comparing projects, and realizing we were on some of the same projects, and that is just, it is amazing. And here a few months ago, I went to the Sasquatch conference, and I met family there. I met so many there. I mean, we were all so happy to see each other, and you just felt, the kindred spiritness of it, and it's wonderful. And I think, people ought to start getting used to this, because this is a time of reunion. As the veil thins, and as we become more of who we are, then that's how we recognize each other. It's beautiful. And pretty soon, like, the whole world will be that, and then everything will be good again. All the bad guys will disappear, and we will all be happy again.
Yeah, okay. You hold on to that. Yes, so I'm not trying to burst a bubble of perception there.
I know.
You are in Boot Camp Earth. There's many planes of existence in this planet, on this planet, in this dimension. And we have to have the faith that these things happen for a reason. As insane and chaotic as things appear to be, this is a dimension. This is one of the densest forms of light we can vibrate at. And it's Boot Camp Earth. So as you step into multidimensionality, you need to discern that as well. That's why you've got these wonderful archangels and angelic vibrational beings and higher consciousness, and the masters are all there to assist us on our journeys of discovery. One of the biggest discoveries that you can experience is to go inward to your own heart, to your own love and your own light, because that's really all it's about. a lot of the rest is illusion, what we call the illusionary realms that mankind creates in their mind. Yes. Because if you can think it, you can create it. If you can speak it, if you can feel it, you are so powerful beyond your imagining of what you're capable of creating.
Yes. Yes.
As a human being, as a divine being incarnated as a human being. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So Archangel Chamuel, what I'd love to do now is actually invite Archangel Chamuel in and allow everybody to feel his presence through the internet, which is amazing. In the circuit of the Chi or the Kai, Archangel Chamuel comes in on what we call the Chang Wan energy. He also brings in fire energy, solar energy. As I said, he works in the mental body and the lower mental aspects. But Archangel Chamuel, when you start working with that yellow energy, it can create what we call the quickening. Once you step out of your judgment and come into discernment and work with that solar plexus, is very powerful. And the quickening of mankind, it can also awaken things in you. You can go, oh my goodness, I've been too harsh in my judgments, or I've been judging myself too harshly. I need to be more kind and gentle with myself. I'm placing too much burden on myself and burdens on my brothers and sisters. Or I'm being incredibly stubborn. I'm as stubborn as a mallee bull. My father used to say to me, stubborn. As I'd dig my little heels in, I'd go, no, it's not like that. And I had to experience it like that to realise it wasn't like that at all. It was totally different to what I understood it. And then I'll say these words of wisdom that we never want to hear, and that is, just when you think you know something, you actually know nothing at all. But I'll invite Archangel Chamuel in, and I'll ask Archangel Chamuel, I command your beautiful presence, Archangel Chamuel, and I'd ask you to come in and touch both Sheila and myself, and to send that beautiful energy out through the internet to those that are watching the show, and anyone that needs assistance here with their intuition or discerning a situation, if they could just ask. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as asking. And so I'd like you to tap into that and tell me what you're feeling, Sheila.
Well, of course, I do feel it in my solar plexus. And from the beginning of this show, I kept saying, trust your gut feeling. You have to trust your gut feeling. And I think those words right there are easier for people to understand, because we've been saying that for a long time, but I don't think we knew exactly what that meant, that there is actually a receptor or chakra in that area that that is associated with that. And, you know, the other thing is that there's a lot of turbulence, especially in the USA right now. And it's pretty imperative to be discerning right now. And also I want to say that your body knows, and listening to your body, getting to know your body, having a relationship with your body, I think it is a very big part of this whole awakening process, because those answers are within.
Yes, that's why we come here to learn stuff. We definitely ask Archangel Chamuel to heal or clear your solar plexus chakra so you can be more discerning. Or if that doesn't clear, ask what the lesson is, please, to show you what it is you're trying to learn. You'll find amazing things will happen. You might feel a great heat here, and your solar plexus chakra is located just here below your heart chakra in your physical being. You might feel, as I said, heat, because it's a strong fire energy, it's a solar energy. But you'll be given exactly what you need when you ask for assistance. Um, you might not feel what I mentioned. There's no right or wrong. Just giving you examples of what you might experience. When we're younger, it's easier for us to discern because we haven't been influenced by other people's concepts or other people's judgments or other people's thoughts about how things should be. When we're younger, we're more innocent and pure, and we just know if it feels right or not. So there can be seeds that are planted within our consciousness that make us make a judgment determined on that knowledge.
Right.
When you go, hang on a minute, there's something not quite right about that, then that will allow you your whole being to grow and evolve. Now, these chakra centers or gateways of consciousness are the thing that allows our highest self to incarnate first into what we call a spiritual template, which is the chakra system. And then that chakra system is what allows us to be embodied or incarnate into this physical body. And they're like, you could read, if you're really interested in that, you can read Barbara Brennan's Hands of Light. Now, she was a physicist that was at NASA, and she was also a scientist, so she could explain it in a very scientific way for those that have got a scientific mind. And she could also see. So her was brilliant, and I think they're written in many different languages, many different cultures. And so it was wonderful. But these centers of consciousness have, for those who might be skeptical or might not understand what I'm speaking about, they've been proven by science to exist through things such as they've injected electroisotopes into the human body and captured on film all the minor little pathways of energy that run through our being. And with Curlin photography, where you place your hands on plates and they capture the energy of the auric field. These centers of consciousness can be seen in people. Now, most people take about 7 years to develop or work through a center of consciousness. And so when we're born, we start at the base and work our way up through the base or the root chakra, then the sacral, we go into the subconscious, then we go to the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the brow, the crown. They're the 7 main ones. We have lots and lots of chakras all over our body, centers of energy, and we have ethereal chakras that don't even exist in this dimension. There's many. Once you start going multidimensionally, these are gateways which you travel through the planes of existence. So not everybody, as I said, there's no structure, there's no hard and fast rule. You'll develop them according to your spirit, how quickly you can work through what it is you're working through. Everybody's unique. Everybody is the sum total of the journey that their soul has done through time and space. So some spirits are a little bit more experienced than others. But Archangel Chamuel will give you insights and flashes of a situation that you may not have seen. You might have not have understood it. And your own guardian angel can assist you with that as well. And you might even
we are running out of time here.
So just enjoy that beautiful presence of the Archangel Chamuel. And also have a look in my app, which is called Angel Essence, which is on iPhone. And Archangel Chamuel has got some beautiful messages in there as well.
Nice.
It'll be integrated into your phone or your iPad or your iPhone, iPhone.
Yes.
Yes. All right, my darling, thank you so much. And as always, only take into your heart what feels right for you. Thank you for listening to the show. I hope you enjoyed that.
I know.
And, namaste, and I love you, soul sister, from the Great Dividing Range on the Ridge in Australia, overlooking Hampton. And thank you, Archangel Camuel. I love you, brother.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you for joining us. From my heart to yours. Namaste.